Welcome to another Zincast, and it is Pucking Around with Chris, and as you can tell, scheduling, Memorial Day weekend, all that type of stuff just makes it impossible for people to get together and do stuff. So, I'm going to fly solo yet again, but don't worry, Chris sent me his picks. He sent them yesterday before last night's game because I am a day behind because, once again, Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what to tell you. I'm still recovering. All right, so before we dive into the conference finals and our picks, let's talk about round two. We both picked the same, so this will be fairly easy. We went 2-2, right? Picked two, right? And we lost two. So let's talk about the two winners. The Colorado Avalanche, we picked them to beat up on the St. Louis Blues. Actually, this was an entertaining series. The Blues gave it their all. The Avalanche, just a better team. And then on the flip coin, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they swept the President Trophy winners, the Florida Panthers. The Battle of Florida is over. Tampa Bay is king. And the two-time defending champs are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So let's talk about what we got wrong. Let's head back to the West Coast. Edmonton Oilers versus the Calgary Flames, and Edmonton beat up on the Calgary Flames. I thought Markstrom would be a bigger presence in net and allow Calgary to have the advantage because Edmonton has Mike Smith. But the firepower was just too great of Edmonton. I mean, there were some high-scoring games in that one. Talking about high-scoring games, we're going to touch on a high-scoring game that happened last night also. But again, we picked Calgary, but Edmonton did push through. So it is the Avalanche versus the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Final. In the East, the other pick that we got incorrectly was the New York Rangers. They beat up on the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes were downgraded to a tropical storm. Their inability to win a road playoff game was astounding. They couldn't do it in round one, and they couldn't do it in round two. They took too many penalties in game 7, and you know the Rangers have a great power play, and that's all they needed, with Shesterkin in net. They had a little push at the end there, but really that game 7 was not close. And the Rangers move on. So it is the Tampa Bay Lightning, like I said, the two-time defending champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New York Rangers. And let's just start there. I'm going to give you my pick, then I'll give you Chris's pick. Before that, I want to say the Lightning are a much better team, much more seasoned team, have a ton more playoff experience recently, specifically going deep and winning back-to-back cups than the Carolina Hurricanes or the Pittsburgh Penguins. The other thing that the Lightning have is a goaltender. Yeah, the Hurricanes were running Ronta, who did an amazing job these playoffs. He's still the second-string goalie. He's not Frederik Andersen. And forget about the Penguins with the Baker, Louis Domingue, the third-string goalie. Okay, it's amazing that those two series went to 7. That's what I'm trying to say. And with that, I think the time off, remember the sweep that the Lightning had, that time off actually helps the Lightning because of their back-to-back playoff runs that they've done, and now throw in this third year. That gives them the much-needed rest that they need, and I think they're going to come out fresh, and I think it's going to be the Lightning in 5. Let's put it this way. If the Rangers need to win back-to-back games to win the series, remember, the Rangers are actually 5-0 in elimination games, okay? Against Penguins, they were down 3-1. They won the 3. And against Carolina Hurricanes, they were down 3-2, won those last 2. So they're 5-0. Thing is, the Lightning don't like to lose back-to-back games. So if they go down and they face an elimination game, they might stave off elimination once, but I don't see them staving off elimination twice. The Rangers want any chance in this series. They have to jump on the Lightning, and they have to get ahead. They cannot play from behind the way they did in the Penguin series in round 1 and the Kane series in round 2. So I picked the Tampa Bay Lightning in 5, and Chris picked the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6. All right, so let's move on to West Coast, and one game is already in the books. We'll talk about that in a moment, but before that, again, we made our picks yesterday before the game. And I'm going to go with Chris right away. He picked the Avs in 7. He thinks it's going to be a tight series, and I agree with him with that. But I went the other way. I picked the Edmonton Oilers in 7. The way they lit up Markstrom and the way they played Calgary was an eye-opener. Listen, when they were playing against the Kings, they looked shaky sometimes. Sometimes they just looked dominant, but they couldn't seem to keep that dominance going. But obviously they pushed through that series in 7 games. But in the Calgary series, it seemed like it was just fireworks. Like if Calgary would score, they'd come back and they'd score. It's like you knew that. It's almost like watching a basketball game. You know, there's a ton of points going on, but the last 3 minutes are very important because that's when the team is going to take the lead or fall behind. Well, in the first quarter, there's goal. Okay, now they have a 2-goal lead. The other team catches up and so on. And that leads me into yesterday's game, the Avs versus Edmonton Oilers. And the Avalanche actually took this game 8-6. I wonder what the over will be for game 2. But 8-6 was the final score. But I mean, this thing was back and forth and back and forth. At one point, I believe it was 7-3 Avalanche. And then 7-3, and then Edmonton scored 3 goals to make it 7-2, or maybe it was 7-4, and then they scored 2 goals to make it 7-6. Like they closed it down to 1. It was insane. Both goalies, Kemper, he got pulled. He actually sustained an injury in this game, so that we got to watch his status. Darcy Kemper for the Avalanche, because that would be a huge loss if their number 1 goaltender goes out. And Mike Smith from Edmonton, he got pulled also. I mean, with all these goals going in, it was kind of just rotating goalies. But yeah, you got to watch out on Kemper, see how his injury is. So yeah, this series has got fireworks, and I don't think there's going to be 15 goals every day, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm taking the Edmonton Oilers in 7, and Chris took the Colorado Avalanche. So yeah, those are the picks. The playoffs are in full swing. If you guys aren't staying up and watching the Edmonton Oilers play, you guys are doing yourself a disservice. The Lightning look unstoppable. It just, all of this looks like, all of it looks fun. That's all I could say. It's been fun games, and I think, that's the other thing I was talking about, the Lightning and Rangers. Andrei Vasilevsky, he's amazing in net. So you got 2 number 1 goaltenders, that are the 2 of the best in the league goaltenders on the East, and on the West you got amazing firepower. So it's going to be some fun playoffs, and the Stanley Cup Finals are also going to be fun. I can't wait to see who's in there. All right, so please like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Do all of those things. Comment below, who do you like in the conference finals, and we will check back, and we will do another video when we get to the Stanley Cup Finals and do our final picks and our final breakdown. And yeah, enjoy these playoffs, because you know I am. Have a good one, everyone.